Welcome. Are you ready to go on an adventure? Are you ready for a little bit of spunk and spark in your heart, in your life right now? Or are you ready to feel a little bit more balanced in your life? Well, if the answer was yes to any of those, you're in the right spot, because I am going to take you on an experiential adventure called Curves of Courage. In 2007, I took a 3,000-mile motorcycle trip solo across the United States and wrote a book about it. And you are here to ride the curves with me. Right behind me is the map from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, all the way out to the East Coast and back in 8 days. And these cute little red boots, they're a little replica of the red boots that I rode on my rich red Dynaglide that I named Flicka, like the horse, which was one of my favorite movies as a kid. So saddle up, get ready to giddy up, and I'm going to take you through the first chapter tonight. And you might be going, why is she doing this? Well, it's just time. It's time. I had this book written, and it's time to get it back out into the world. And so when you feel that spark of inspiration, you just do it. So thank you for joining me. So we're going to start off with the first chapter, Why She Rides. Have you ever wanted to feel as free as the wind? Me too. My love of riding began on my second birthday when a wonder horse was given to me. I loved the giddy up, bouncing to all the places in my imagination, feeling the weightless whee as I lifted into the air. While in kindergarten, I loved Cindy, a real pony, just as much, if not more, petting her soft mane, learning her gaits, and listening to her neigh. Later on, the popular Happy Days TV show set in my hometown, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, fascinated me. The Fonzarelli and Pinky Tuscadero on their iron horses had their own sense of freedom. Even their leather jackets and spirit symbolized the ride. My version? Clothespinning playing cards to the spokes of my bicycle, listening to the vroom as the wheels spinned. A special someone in my sophomore year of high school led me down the path to a motorcycle heaven. One night, I was out to dinner with my parents. The cutest busboy slipped me a note asking for my phone number. I felt so flattered, being the eldest in a strict Italian-German household, attending an all-girl Catholic school. It was rare to have a close encounter of this kind. Ross certainly built up my self-esteem. The first time he came to my house, he rode his motorcycle. When he asked if I wanted to go for a ride, we had to face the roadblock called Mom. So I said to her, can I go for a bike ride with Ross? Meaning a motorcycle. She replied, 5 minutes and stay close to home. Those 5 minutes were the most free I'd felt my whole life. And I was ready for more. Plus, Ross was a marvelous kisser. And he lived life to the fullest. Fast forward 10 years. My Harley riding brother-in-law, Lenny, was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. The suburban Harley dealership traded up his two-wheel motorcycle for a sidecar model so he could ride into his final days with ease and joy. Lenny gave our family rides at his mother-in-law's memorial service, a fitting memory, a letting go experience, bliss in the midst of losing a loved one. Harley-Davidson, situated in Milwaukee, celebrates big. Motorcycle enthusiasts travel the world over, connecting and inspiring other riders at events citywide. At Harley's 95th anniversary parade, I savored every rumble and roar. The sounds, the smells, the sights moved me to attend the 100th anniversary. It made me want more joy-filled rides. Signing up for a week-long course class seemed to be the next best step towards balance. At that time, I was riding a corporate sales career. Some fun with a little shiny side up time might just be the ticket. At the classroom was a woman doctor. She wanted to ride a fat boy into her husband's surprise birthday party. If she could do it, I thought, so could I. After riding a variety of motorcycles for several days, I questioned myself, was truly fun? I had throttled so much, my watch stem dug into my skin until it bled. I wondered if a license was in the cards for me. The day of our driving test, it rained, creating far from ideal conditions. All the students were expected to retrieve motorcycles from the trailer and proceed to the course and take the riding test. I, however, jumped on a new to me, never ridden steely steed and found it much easier to guide, ride, shift, and maneuver. Of course, I cruised through the course, passing with a superior score. Oh, woohoo! I did it! Maximizing this great momentum, I immediately drove to the DMV to take the test to receive my license. I passed the test, and within days, a good giddy up showed up for sale, a perfect starter bike for me. For a year, I rode Daisy, a pearly sage green Suzuki 750, until a blustery Lake Michigan wind whipped us on the Hone Bridge, which made me realize a heavier bike with some giddy up may be a smart idea. Shortly after my shakeup at my 25th high school reunion, I found myself alone with time on my hands between an event and the dinner. On a whim, I visited the nearby Milwaukee Harley-Davidson dealer. What caught my eye when I walked in was a sparkling 2002 rich red Dynaglide basking in the showroom sunlight. When I sat my petite 5'1" frame on her seat, my feet landed flat on the floor. A perfect fit. Let's take her for a spin, I said. Our first ride proved challenging, bucking me like a bronco horse through the entire driving course. I returned her to the shop. The throttle was quickly repaired, and she drove like a new model. I was beyond excited. Together we danced in the wind. My joy was so contagious. And then my husband signed up for motorcycle classes so that we could ride together. Picking up this Dyna in a parking lot full of people greeted us. People were lined up out the showroom door. Little did we know, Evel Knievel was there, just 2 weeks after having a stroke. We wove through the crowds to sign the paperwork. Evel Knievel was welcomed with cheers from the crowd. Even Harley-Davidson executives had postponed their flights to stay in town just to see him. Holy cannolis, I thought, what a memorable night to pick up my beautiful new ride. I named my new ride Flicka from the famed horse in the book, TV series, and movie. My ride also bucked and needed to be tamed. Like the main character, Katie, of Flicka fame, I also felt free when I rode. My kids gifted me the whole set of Flicka movies. Oh, I think I have it right here. It's right here. Oh my gosh. One of my best gifts yet. When I watched them, I discovered the name Flicka means pretty girl. It seemed fitting with Flicka's randomly registered license plate, which was PG313. My interpretation was PG stood for pretty girl. We rolled the open road together. It was a match made in heaven. Doors opened and I made inroads to my own personal potential, discovering my gifts and with numerology. The letters PG in numerology numbers are 7 and 7. Adding up 3 plus 1 plus 3 also added up to a 7. My license plate was a 777, which is 21. When you get 21 in blackjack at the casinos, you win. And when you have 3 sevens line up on a slot machine, you've just won the jackpot at the slots. And guess what? The 21st letter in the alphabet is U. That's right, like a lucky horseshoe. I had picked a winner every way the numbers lined up. Flicka's number 7 were a reflection of me. It showed up in my numerology chart, in my address, and the date we picked her up. The 7 story is a true testimony that the stars can align and remind us that when we are in the right place at the right time. Riding shifted me into a higher gear, healed my heart, opening my eyes to appreciate the beauty within and around me. I began feeding the birds, becoming more aware of plants and animals. The physical voyage was the beginning of a whole new emotional and mindful world for me. My ride connected to me on a roadmap that would guide me through the curves, discover my gifts, and help me build courage to navigate this wild road called life. So here's a cute little poem. I ride because it's so good. The wind beneath my chin tunes me in and up to who I am. Builds courage, feeling the sun's rays on my face, raindrops on my tongue, simply being with my favorite person, me. The rumble makes my heart tumble, riding into golden sunsets, bathed in stars, beamed in the moonlight. Silence speaks. So I've got 3 questions for you. I call these chrome reflections. What makes your heart rumble? What is something in your life that has humbled you? And what's your favorite number that keeps showing up and why? Jot those down and stay tuned for chapter 2. Thank you for joining me. Ciao, Bella.